It's almost the end of the homeschool year, and so today I would like to give you guys an update on our first grader and how her curriculum is working for her, if anything isn't working, and what we are doing next. Hey guys, it's Bonnie from Mrs. Mom's Homeschool, and welcome to my channel. Today I just want to share with you an update on my first grader, on her curriculum that we're using, how it's working out for her, how we like it or don't like it, and what the next plan is. If you're new to my channel, I've been homeschooling since 2012 and I make videos to help you on your homeschooling journey. So let's just get right into it. We're gonna go subject by subject. Now, if you've seen any of my day in the life videos, you see that in the morning, the first thing that we do is our read out loud time. Now, I also have a 5th grader who is homeschooled. And so when I choose my read out louds, I choose it so that it's more towards his interest, because my first grader always falls right into the story. Even though some of it may be over her head, she gets the basic plot of the story and she really enjoys being a part of that with us. So right now we're doing the 100 covered series. We are on book number 2 and we get to read this every morning. If you have not seen my 5th grade update, the 100 covered series is about a boy who lives with his aunt and uncle. That he just moved there. And he's living in the attic and he uncovered some secret doors that happen to be magic doors into other worlds. So it's a really good series and we are on book number 2. She's doing great. What I find is that when we start the morning with our read out loud time, it gives her a chance to get her playtime out of the way too, because not only is she listening, she's snacking, she's playing with toys or doing Play-Doh or playing with Legos, and that gives her, like, it's kind of like a warm up to our homeschool day. So she's getting her mind ready, her body ready, getting the atmosphere ready as we're doing our read out loud time. My first grader, who by the way is 6 years old, she's not yet 6.5, she just finished the Good and the Beautiful math level 1. So what I did was I took a couple of weeks off and we didn't jump into math level 2 for 2 reasons. I did have the online version, but I wanted this time to buy the actual physical math 2, and I was debating between the Good and the Beautiful old math level 2. I had went ahead and bought all of the Good and the Beautiful maths. If you're new to the Good and the Beautiful, they redid their whole math. And they made the lessons shorter. The lessons were really long. They had a lot of activities. And at first I liked it. I liked that they had all these different games. I felt like I reinforced the math well. But then when I tried the Simply Math, I just liked that one so much better. I found that my first grader was still learning everything. She became really good at math using this curriculum, and it took a shorter amount of time. So it was less stressful for me because I didn't have to sort through all these different games and find all the different pieces and everything. And I really like the Simply Math 2. So even though I bought 1, 2, and 3 of the original Good and the Beautiful math, we are going to switch over to the Simply Math 2 and use that. So like I was gonna say is that, by the way, excuse my kids, they're entertaining themselves in the other room and they're kind of loud. I took a couple of weeks off from any math curriculum. I wanted to wait for that one to come in person, and what we did instead was we played some games. So I have some educational board games. I have money bags. It helps her practice counting money and change. We also practice some quick addition and subtraction games. And some of these games, like this card game that I have, it actually had some concepts that she hadn't learned yet how to do quickly, and so I was able to teach her some ways, some math skills and stuff to help her add and subtract bigger numbers that she didn't learn yet. We also did Pet Me Math, which is an introduction to division. So we did different games to reinforce the math while I was waiting for the next curriculum to come. So in the next day in the life video, you'll see that she will be starting that level 2 2nd grade math now towards the end of this homeschool year. Language arts. So for language arts, we are using the Good and the Beautiful level 1, and we are continuing to work with that. It is a great program. She learned how to read using Teach Your Child to Read with 100 easy lessons, but the Good and the Beautiful did read those little yellow cards that they have that are grammar cards, really helped her to get different diagrams and different sounds that she hadn't learned in the other book. So it was like a step up. So she's doing great with her spelling. We're working really hard on spelling. We do spelling every day, even though it isn't part of the Good and the Beautiful to practice spelling in the way that we do it. I find that the way that they do spelling, she's not catching on the words by the time the unit is over and there's a unit review and a unit and a unit test. she isn't able to spell those words. So what I started to do was every day when it says like review your phonics cards, we already finished the phonics cards and the sight words a long time ago. We're using that time for some spelling drills and spelling practice. And in this video here, I show you kind of how we do our spelling. And I'll probably make a video in more detail on how I practice spelling with my first grader. We use the spelling words that the Good and the Beautiful is trying to teach her, and I just do it in my own way. The grammar is going great. She's learning her nouns and adjectives. She's learning, you know, capitalization and punctuation. And she's just learning like compound words and different things like that. And she really enjoys this curriculum. For the most part, I mean, what kid likes to do school all the time? She's the one that I have the least trouble with to do school most of the time. And when she's not in just a playful mood all day, and she's like in school mode, she likes the Good and the Beautiful stuff. For her reading, what I do is sometimes we do the Good and the Beautiful reader, but I also purchased for her the Princess in Black series and some other picture books for her to read. So if it says like shared reading or silent reading time, she'll either read to me a little bit, or if I'm like busy with my son, I'll have her read alone one of the books that I know that she can read, just to have that practice. And then let's move on to electives. So the way that I'm teaching our electives, meaning science and history in our homeschool, is we're doing 1 month of each. So we just finished the science unit, our ecosystem unit. And if you want to see her end of unit project, you can check it out here. Now we jumped into history. So we're doing the Good and the Beautiful History 1. Now, I don't normally teach history at this young age. If you are a parent of a first grader, I recommend that for history, if you don't have an older child and you just have your little ones, I recommend teaching them like important people in history, important holidays, and basic social studies type things you can get off of YouTube, different topics, different books, and do that as history and social studies, because they don't really remember things until they're in like 5th grade. So I really start like a history program in 5th grade. So they have 5th, 6th, 7th, and 8th, because most history programs come in a 4-year course. But because I have a 5th grader, I am doing history with her, and she is participating. She does her companion with the Good and the Beautiful History, and she's doing well so far. I mean, it's ancient Egypt, and ancient Egypt is pretty interesting, but once we get into parts of history that don't seem as fun to her or interesting, I'm not going to make her do it. What I may do is during her one-on-one time, which I'll explain in a minute, is add, like I said, some holiday books or some, you know, biographies of famous people, or depending on, you know, what's going on at that time, I might pick a different topic for her to do. And so what our one-on-one time is normally when my 5th grader is doing his work, his solo work, usually his math and his language arts, I take my first grader side and we do math, like 20 minutes of math, 20 minutes of language arts, we do our reading time, and then we'll do, sometimes we do geography, and then we'll do a little bit like a history video or a science video. And I just do that one-on-one time with her. Now, she's not doing her separate science for her own age, because she also does science at her homeschool co-op. And then next semester, she's gonna be in my science class at the homeschool co-op, which is a curriculum that I created for her. But I think it'll be more fun to teach it to her in a group of friends. But more about that later. Oh, for Bible, which is actually the second thing we do every day after our read out loud time, we are reading the Jesus Storybook Bible. We'll be able to finish that entire thing. We are also reading through theology, and we're going to be able to finish that entire thing before her next school year. And it's great because she's, with the Storybook Bible, she's just learning all the Bible stories. And then theology, she's getting what she can out of it, and I'm doing it with my 5th grader too. We're having discussion, and she just seems to be picking up on everything. She's doing an amazing job. Now, Spanish. We were doing Song School Spanish, and I really want to get back to Song School Spanish. And I think that right now we're on spring break. I'm in an Airbnb, but I think that when we get back, maybe even in April, which is in 2 weeks from when this video is being released, I think we're gonna do Song School Spanish 2 with her. And in the following school year, we have something else planned for Spanish. But I think we're gonna jump into Song School Spanish very soon as part of our one-on-one time. We actually had to review Song School Spanish 1 because we never finished it and she didn't pick up all the words and things. So we probably will do the end of Spanish 1 and then jump into Spanish 2. So stay tuned for my day in the life videos and see if I've incorporated that or not. My first grader is still doing classes at our Homeschool CoOp. If you want to see that video, check it out here. She's doing art, cooking, story of the world history, and she's doing an American Girl literature class as well as a science is fun class. So we do that once a week, every week. That is our update for our first grader, the curriculum that we're using. We're loving everything, and very soon after the homeschool convention, I am going to be putting out a video on what she's going to be using for her second grade year. But make sure you guys, if you guys are interested on how I put this all together, check out my upcoming homeschool day in the life series, or in this playlist here I have a whole bunch of other day in the life videos. But I also have a playlist that is homeschooling your first grader, so you get to see all the different things that I do with my first grader. I want to thank you guys so much for watching. I'm sorry, there's so much noise in the kitchen right now, but thank you guys for watching, and I will see you in the next video.